with our radio show.
Hello.
Hey, Tim. How's it going? This is Rob.
Hi, Rob. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We good to go?
Yep.
I usually start off the interview with asking the same question for musicians. What was your journey like that led you into playing music in the first place? I guess, if you were a superhero, what would the origin of Tim Bogert be? That's a weird way of opening it up, I guess, but, I like to start interviews off weird like that.
My mom got me into the musical program at school. That's how it all began.
How old were you?
Grammar school, I guess.
So you was probably in
for piano lessons, and then I got lessons for clarinet, the band, and then I started playing saxophone, and then that led to bass guitar, and here I am.
So you started off with classical instruments, basically.
Piano was what I started with. Yeah, I can't play it anymore, but that's what I started from.
I was going to segue into that. I was going to ask you how many instruments do you play total, but once you got into your bass playing, you primarily stuck with the bass then, huh?
Pretty much, yeah, and I don't play much anything anymore, really.
You just retired, laid back, and enjoying the good life.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah. I do session work mostly on the line, and every now and then I'll do some session stuff. But as far as touring and going out and doing that anymore, I had a bad accident about 7-8 years ago, and it's hard to sit in one place. I got arthritis in my hip and my knees. And,
oh, okay. I didn't know you was in an accident.
I worked hard for 50 years, and so now it should be a bump.
You just sit back and ride your bike. I saw you're a big bike rider.
Yeah, still riding. I was just out for a test ride on one of the bikes a little while ago.
Yeah. Well, I was searching you on YouTube, and I came across a series of musical instructionals that you did. Is teaching music something you've done in the past, or something you've always wanted to do, or you just...
No, that's something that I did from 1979 to 1997. I worked at the Musicians Institute in Hollywood.
So was that something that you thought of, or did somebody approach you with that idea?
No, somebody approached me. I had just come back from living in Europe. I had been working over there. And when I got back here, I had no work of any kind. And I was hanging out one day. I got a phone call from the school, and one of the instructors called and said, "We're using some of the stuff that you did in the Cactus band in the bass guitar classes. Could you come in and demonstrate that for the students?" I went, "Sure, that'd be great." Okay. So I went in and I did that, and I guess it went well, because they called me up and then said, "Well, could you come in and do a seminar?" I went, "Oh, sure." And I hung the phone up, called my friend up, and said, "Ray, what's a seminar?" Because I had no idea. And he explained, what one does. So I took my pedal board and all the tricks I knew, and I went down. I did a demonstration in front of the whole school, and they liked it well enough where they asked me what I teach for a day. I went, "Yeah." And one day turned into two, which turned into three. And I started a vocal program down at the school because I was the only instructor there who was a lead singer at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And turned out to be a great job for the next 18 years.
Now, as far as your vocals and singing, is that something you always did even when you were first starting out? Or did the instruments bring out the vocals?
No, I was always a singer as a kid. My daddy was a singer.
Okay, so it was in the family.
I guess it's in the family. I don't know. My dad had a beautiful voice. He enjoyed singing. He never did it professionally, just like to sing around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sing with my dad. There you go.
How about bass? Did you learn to play the bass on your own, or did you take lessons?
Pretty much. Dale Strover, who was the guitar player in the band I was in my high school band, he was the guitar player in the group as well as a tenor sax player. I was a tenor sax player. And when surf music came out, well, there wasn't a whole lot of sax work in there, and I didn't want to walk off stage and not play the next number, so I asked Dale, "Well, show me what I can do on bass." showed me some stuff one afternoon, and I started to play it. It became my first.
You know, when you were involved with the bands that you were in, your bands were known for taking certain songs and making different arrangements out of them. They kind of fit the style of the band that you were in. How did you guys go about that back in the day and decide which songs you were going to do different arrangements with?
We just took the ones that we liked.
That simple, huh?
It's that simple.
Nothing to do with lyrics or anything like that? Certain lyrics that you like? Or I guess that would be...
Well, most of the lyrics that we used to refer to as hurtin' lyrics. In other words, like, I'm sad, you hurt me, I have the flu, that sort of thing.
Okay, all right.
So it was normally that lyrical content. And we would just pick the songs that we liked. You know, our favorite songs, as it were. Kind of like what a garage band would do if they were putting a set together. Well, we were basically a garage band, really, except we were a nightclub group. Not much of a difference.
So what's the story with leaving the Fudge to form Cactus? Now, I don't want to get in too deep or bring up old bad memories or anything like that, but...
I don't have any bad memories anymore. I'll talk about anything.
You know, rumor has it the band Cactus was started off with you and Carmine riding in a limo. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. I was laying in the back of the limo, and I just about had it up to my eyebrows with the Fudge group. And I said, Carm, I'm leaving the band. And right at that moment, we were passing the Cactus Drive-In. And that became the name of the group, Cactus.
Not much thought went into it. It fit real well, though.
Oh, it worked.
Hey,
Carmine still has the band working. I worked with it up until 2008.
Yeah, I talked to Carmine a few weeks ago. He's a great guy.
Oh, you're a hell of a guy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I want to go back to a minute, and we was talking about when you were younger and you started playing instruments. You know, I was reading also you were like a Little League baseball player when you were younger. Did you continue to play baseball or any other kind of sport?
No.
You put it up?
I played up a little through high school, but that was it.
Music was your first choice?
Yeah, pretty much. I discovered girls would talk to me. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
That's all it took.
Was girls one of the big reasons you decided to play bass?
Not so much that I decided to play bass, but I decided that playing in the band was a really good thing.
It was one of the fringe benefits.
It was the fringe benefit, yeah.
Hey,
it still is.
You'll get that from everybody, I'm sure. You know, what was it like being introduced into the Hollywood Rock Walk of Fame?
Oh, I was thrilled. I just thought that was wonderful.
You know,
it was a heck of a wonderful day.
I seen you were surrounded by a bunch of awesome and legendary players, too.
Yeah, it was a very fun afternoon.
You know, I seen pictures with you and Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
What was Steven doing there now? Does he play bass?
He's a guitar player, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I heard somewhere, and I might be mistaken, Carmine had an album out. And I think Steven and John McEnroe, as a matter of fact, played on that album.
They may well have. I don't know.
Yeah, I seen the picture, of you. It was on your website, and Steven was sitting there, and I was like, oh, my goodness. Is he after Tim?
He was emceeing the ceremonies that day.
Okay. Well, I know he must play something. And I wanted to ask if it was bass because I saw him in there, the picture with you and everything. But I know that I seen somewhere that he was on one of Carmine's albums, one of the albums that Carmine had like a bunch of different players joining.
Could be. Carmine's made hundreds of albums, literally.
He's so busy. I saw he got like 3 or 4 different things going on right now.
He's got 26 things going on at any given moment in time. He is a workaholic, works from the moment he opens his eyes in the morning until he shuts them again at night, and that's what makes him happy.
You set the bar for a lot of players after you.
For a while I did, yeah.
At what point in your career did you think you had your style pretty much set in stone?
I never thought about much of that. I just played. I just played whatever came into my head. I still do. I don't think a whole lot about music or what I'm going to do, or I just listen to what the rhythm is and what the chords are and what the melody is, and to play.
I talk to Dwayne Hitchings a lot.
Isn't he fun?
Yeah, man, I never know what's gonna come out of his mouth. I got him on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I call him the Wild Man.
Oh, he's crazy. I call him Moose. But he can do a moose call better than a moose can.
He said that a lot of hotels, I think it was a Holiday Inn and maybe a few rental car agencies, has got him banned from his wild days when you guys
It's
were younger.
true. Yeah. Yeah, the Cactus Band was banned from the Holiday Inn chain, the Hilton, Hertz. Yeah.
So he wasn't kidding.
Oh, no, not at all. We did some foolish, stupid stuff.
You led the typical rock style lifestyle, I guess. The rock lifestyle.
Well, there was a lot of downtime on the road and a lot of boredom. And young men are full of energy and mischief.
like I said to Dwayne, you have to be young and dumb before you are old and wise.
So they tell me.
But being young and dumb is just so much fun, right?
I had a ball. I really did.
What's your take on today's music? I ask this question a lot to my guests.
I listen to blues mostly. I don't listen to a lot of stuff anymore. I have a collection of blues material, which is in my computer, and I press shuffle. But I don't even know who the new artists are. I am so out of touch.
Are you a hermit?
No, because I go out from time to time, but I'm not a social animal anymore. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it did.
You know, I'm getting that way myself. I enjoy my time with my family, and I enjoy my privacy.
Yeah, I like my privacy now as well.
Mm-hmm.
I quietly live here on the hill, me and the pussycat.
What's the name of your pussycat?
Kitty.
Original.
Well, she showed up on the lawn one afternoon. I went, "Hi, Kitty." And off she ran. Now, this went on for a good month. But I'd get a little bit closer to her each time I'd see her. And one day I get right up to her, and she decides to flop down on her back and let me pet her. So I went in, and all this time I've been going, "Hi, Kitty, hi, Kitty." So I went in, I got the can of tuna, and now I have a cat, and she responds to the name Kitty.
I have like 4 cats outside of my house, and
well, there you go.
Yeah, so I know what you're talking about. And I think all the neighbors have 4 cats outside of their house. They go to each house and they get fed. And
they're all the same cat, yeah.
So all the neighbors have the same cat as a pet.
Yeah. Yeah, my next door neighbor owns this cat just as much as I do, yeah.
They all have different names, too.
She sleeps here, but I used to go on the road, and I'd sometimes be gone for 6 weeks, and she'd go over next door to Curly's house, sleep in his garage. She had a place in there he fixed up for her, and all her food and the bed, and no problem. So, yeah, I got that image. There was 2 other cats that were living here, feral cats that just sort of came around, and they decided to stay. The kitty's the one I allow in the house.
So you're an animal lover. So am I.
Oh, I like animals, yeah. They seem to like me.
Well, I try to like the people or the animals that like me. Not too many people do, so I got to hold on to what likes me.
There you go.
Let's tell everybody your website. You got timbogert.com. You update that often?
Yeah, it's more like a tribute site, really. My friend Pete Remy put that up many, many years ago.
Do you do any other social media besides your website? Do you do Facebook, Twitter?
I'm on the Facebook thing. But it's not that I'm antisocial. I just kind of keep to myself.
I hear you. I'm the same way. Like we talked about that earlier. You know, sometimes you just like your privacy, and then every now and then you want to get out and see the world. But as the older you get, and I think it's with everybody, you know, you start to enjoy the finer things in life a little bit more. It's not about going out and letting yourself be known. It's just like sitting at home and enjoying the peace and quiet of your home, the things you've accumulated in your life, the memories, and just enjoying your life in that manner.
Yeah, you pretty much hit it on the head. I don't need to strut like a peacock anymore.
Yeah.
And I've put together just a wonderful home here on the side of the hill. And I love being here.
Well, Tim, thank you very much for being on the show. Thank you for taking
thank you
time
for
out of your
having me.
day. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed talking to you. You seem like you're a really
It was
laid back guy. One of those guys I'd love to hang out with.
Well, let's see. Pour me a light beer and a cognac. I'll be right there.
The 25th Hour Radio Show.